Hey everybody, here's the part 3 and final installment on the Shotgun Dave challenge car. Wasn't quite finished with it last time, and since then I've done a lot of finishing, testing, put motors in, changed motors, swapped motor back, and upgraded my controller to a fully adjustable one with sensitivity. We'll talk about that in another video, but that made a huge difference. At one point I had the 20,500 RPM in there, and it was okay, but I put the 22.5 in it, and it was actually awful and hard to control with my standard analog controller. It just had very little play in the trigger, so you hit the gas and it would just all over the place. So anyway, I played around with it, added some weight to the front because it seemed to want to hop out of the guide a lot, out of the slot, and the piano wire I used made the back just a little too loose because it was really only held up here and all that to flex. So what I did was I soldered in a couple of blocks on either side, which they're not soldered to it, they just keep it from flexing up and down, and that was pretty good. But then I added a strip of tape like the guys do with the pod cars, like NSRs and stuff, and that gave it a little, because it had a little side to side, and that was actually a very noticeable improvement. So the back is geared kind of low, so it gives some off the line grunt, which it probably doesn't need because it's got a lot of torque, but it's such a short track it didn't need any taller gears, I didn't think. It's pretty heavy. I think it's 110 grams, but it still goes pretty good. And I got the body mounts, a couple of wood blocks, and I made a post for the front. Mounts up nice. As you can see, no restriction on the width of the tires or fenders. So I went to town and made as wide as I could. It's a little twitchy in the corners, and I blame that on the fact that there's no overhang to the front. I couldn't put the guide any further forward without carving it up and making it look stupid, and I don't like them sticking out front, so I didn't do that. So if you notice, the pivot on the guide is really close to the front axle, and I think that really affects the handling. Once it starts to go, it tends to push the front, but once you get it under control and you drive it a bunch, it's pretty fast. So putting her in, packaging it up, shipping it off to Dave today, and whenever he gets a chance to play around and practice with it and make some fast laps, I'm sure he will do his video. Until then, it's been a lot of fun. It's a Scottish driver, low cut windshield. I added a tonneau cover. The paint job is from, I don't know, 1980s sometime when I originally did it. At one point in practice, it went flying off the track, and you can see a little line there. Broke the whole rear fender off, glued that back on. We've had lots of fun. It's probably got, I don't know, over 2,000 laps on it now, but they're only 2.5 seconds each, so what else can I say about it? That's it. Hopefully it does good once it's out in California. I think it likes warmer weather. It's always terrible when my track's cold. So there we go. We'll screw it back together. It also doesn't seem to like a floating body. Just a teeniest little bit loose on the screws. If you loosen them too much, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. I guess every car and chassis is different. So there we go. Wish me luck, and off it goes. We'll see it when it's out there on the Revell track. See how that compares to this Carrera track. Best time I got on my track, which is about the same size as Dave's, slight different curving, was a 2.29. It mostly runs in the 2.34, 2.38s, but it pulled off a handful of 2.29, so we'll see. Anyway, there it is. Now I can move on to other projects. for the HRW showdown, finishing those 1/25th scalers, and then putting together a new modified, and fixing up my Sportsman with a new motor, but we'll talk about those another time. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Bye.